So in this video, we're going to be going through all 60 kits currently in BedWars against Infected. Now, some of these kits don't make any sense for Infected mode, period. Like Crocowolf, for example, you don't have a bed. It's pretty much kitless. Some of these kits are also bugged. Now, there were about 5 kits that were completely bugged and non-functional in this mode. I reported those to the devs, so pretty soon they might start working. If they do, I might, update in comments as far as how they perform against Infected. But I will tell you, none of those are expected to be like really OP against Infected. So not really missing out on anything on those. Now, before I begin, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. So let's go and dive straight into it. So why don't we get the broken kits out of the way? And obviously, like I said earlier, the devs are working on fixes for these kits. So, chances are by the time you watch this video or down the road, it might be working. But as of the time of this video, they didn't work. Now, Whim is the first kit that is broken because you don't have a spellbook and you do need a spellbook in order to be able to use the mage abilities. If they do fix this kit, it could be pretty powerful against Infected because obviously free projectiles all day long. Will it be better than some of the other kits? Probably not, but still pretty good kit. Next up, we have Metal Detector, which you're supposed to spawn with a Metal Detector, so currently you cannot use the Metal Detector. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you, almost all of the farming kits that we're going to talk about today are going to be kind of useless in this game mode because you don't really need farming kits. I'm going to explain why, but you really don't need these. So even if they fix this, it's not very powerful. Next up with Bounty Hunter, no targets. So without targets, you don't have bounty. Without bounty, you get no reward. And again, this is another farming kit you just don't need in this game mode. Next up with Alchemist is, technically you're supposed to be able to use a cauldron to be able to, create potions. And unfortunately, the cauldron just isn't working in any game mode currently. So you won't really be able to make potions. And honestly, even if they did fix this, I don't think it's going to be like crazy against Infected. It's good for trolling and that's about it. Because you can like put Infected to sleep. Maybe you can, have infinite heals and that's about it. And finally, the next broken kit is going to be Crypt. Now, Crypt doesn't spawn with the staff. That's because, they're giving you bows. They're giving you other stuff by default. So I think the staff gets overwritten in their code. So if they did fix this, this could be a pretty good kit. You will notice that the headstones are like showing up. So you can actually get souls. Unfortunately, you just can't do anything with the souls afterwards. Now, would this be powerful against Infected? I think so. I actually think this would be a pretty powerful kit against Infected. I'm curious to see how good it would be too. But unfortunately, we can't try it because it's not working. Now, out of all of these kits, I will tell you this is the one kit that just is completely useless in this mode, and that is Crocowolf. Crocowolf, when your bed breaks, you're supposed to go into like this beast mode for like, 2 minutes or something like that. And unfortunately, it just doesn't work because there's no bed. So you never transform, and therefore you're pretty much kitless in this mode. So don't use Crocowolf if you're going to go and play Infected. Now, I mentioned earlier that the farming resource kits are useless in this mode, and it's not really that they're useless, okay? Like, if you're really bad, like if your team is just really bad, then these would be useful. But if you just follow my meta, if you watch my other video the other day, it's real basic to win in this mode. You have to start with Diamond Generator. If you don't start with Diamond Generator and you never really get it, and the Infected are overrunning your base, your game, it's game over. That's how you lost, is because it's your fault. Now, if you start out with a Diamond Generator, every single teammate is getting diamonds in rotation, and you're going to have so many diamonds you won't even know what to do with them. It's really easy to get resources. So there's no point in any of the resource farming kits, but let's go and talk about it anyway. So we have Beekeeper Beatrix, which does work. The challenge is you got to go and collect your bees throughout the world, and Infected, you're kind of having to avoid them at the same time. You need a lot of blocks because the map is pretty sizable. It's pretty big. The other problem I had was you have to really protect your beehive because you got teammates, right? And they like to grief in this mode. I don't know what it is, but it attracts trolls. Infected mode just attracts trolls. And so pretty much anything that can be destroyed, they're going to destroy. So if you have a hive that they can destroy, good luck. So I wouldn't use that kit. Merchant Marco, pretty much, it's all about discounts. He's not really a farming kit, but he's all about discounts. And honestly, you just don't need him. The only benefit is resource discounts. And he's just like, you have so much money and resources. At some point, you won't have anything else to spend on because you don't have pearls, you don't have balloons or anything like that. So there's nothing really for you to spend extra emeralds on at some point. Next up, we have Cyber, which is the drone user. Again, you don't really need this. I mean, you're going to fly a drone around. Probably chances are you're going to get killed on one of the Infected rushes. Just a really bad kit for this. I don't understand why people use Cyber inside this mode. It kind of is dumb. Farmer Cletus, again, similar situation unless you're, really desperate for diamonds. I mean, you're going to spend half the game just farming stuff that you're getting automatically. So Farmer Cletus is not that useful. If anything, it's a big waste of resources. Now, out of all these fishermen, it's kind of interesting because you can get coral, you can get obsidian, you can get fireballs, you can get TNT, you can get emeralds, you can get all kinds of stuff. but still pretty much useless. Like, I would actually say just go and get a portable vending machine instead and don't even bother with Farmer Cletus. Chances are you're going to be fishing at next to an edge and then get knocked in by an infected. Just not worth it. Now we got Miner, and Miner is all about converting people into stone that they kill, right? So you're going to be converting zombies or infected into stone, and then you're going to be collecting the resources after you break them. Again, don't really need it in this mode because you're going to have so much. You're going to have thousands of iron, and you're going to have so much emeralds. You're going to have everything, and you're going to be maxed out on your diamond gen. What's the point of Miner other than maybe an early, resource grind? Maybe, but you're going to have iron armor within the first, I would say, like 50 seconds of the game anyway. So why do you need Miner? So next up was Lucia. Lucia was a lot of fun to use because you're doing constant damage to infected, and you're getting a lot of resources as a result of that. You get a ton of emeralds really, really quick, and this is probably the only farming kit that I would say go ahead and go with if you're going to do it, if you have her. But honestly, beyond that, it's kind of a dumb kit to use. Again, farming resource kits, no good, no bueno. Now we're going into just like the simply useless kits. These are the kits that just don't make any sense in the game, okay? I played with every single one of these kits that I've mentioned so far, by the way. I gave them their chance. I used Yeti, and now Yeti was kind of interesting because I could just troll and break blocks by using my Yeti call. Kind of cool because you can break, blocks very quickly. I was basically just trolling the enemy infected by, I just kept breaking their bridges with them. Kind of dumb otherwise. Honestly, it was just dumb. Next up with Smoke Kit is a really good kit for trolling. So I bought an invisible potion, and then I bought some Teslas and some spikes, and planted the Teslas into their spawn so they were just constantly taking damage in the dark. I also added some smoke blocks to their bridge just to see if they would fall in. Beyond that, it's just a troll. It's a troll kit. It's pretty much useless. Now the Raven, I thought this would be a pretty good one because obviously when you attack with Ravens with static, you can pretty much kill most players. Like the constant static plus the Raven effect is pretty deadly. Now against infected, not so good because infected have enough health to be able to withstand that. So by the time you get enough Ravens and you get static, 2 or 3, they're probably going to get spawn camped by the enemies, and that's exactly what happened to me, is they were getting spawn camped. It was pretty useless. Raven's just not that good of a kit, honestly. There's so many other kits. You'd be better off just using your crossbow instead of, Raven. Plus, Raven, they don't have any balloons, so that, you're not really, popping anyone's balloons or anything like that. It's just kind of a useless kit. Another useless kit, Santa. Now, Santa has a limit of 3 gifts that you can purchase, and then you can pretty much, launch those gift boxes at enemies. Now, basically marks where they're going to drop the TNT. Also, if you got blocks above where you're trying to, drop the TNT bomb, they're pretty much not going to do any damage to the enemy. And honestly, to the infected, TNT does really very little damage. It just isn't worth it. Another useless kit, Builder. Now, Builder is all about reinforcing objects. I used Builder, and I reinforced Teslas. I reinforced blocks. I reinforced spikes, the spike traps. I reinforced as much as I could, and the sledgehammer just destroyed everything in its path with one shot. There's so much damage from that sledgehammer that Builder's pretty much useless in this mode. If you're trying to use Builder to reinforce stuff other than maybe Obsidian, unless you're kind of trolling them, Builder's kind of useless. Dino Tamer is another useless kit. You don't have a bed to break. You're going to run around with this dinosaur, and then you're going to charge them, and half the time the kit gets broken, or it doesn't really show when the dinosaur is ready again. It's just kind of a weird kit in general to use inside Infected. And my gosh, one of the most useless kits other than maybe trolling and griefing your teammates is Jack. Now with Jack, you obviously buy these oil blobs, and the only way this kit actually does any kind of damage is if you launch 10 at once and stack the oil blobs on top of each other. At that point, it really does a lot of damage, but for 2 or 3 kills after you spent 10 emeralds, doesn't make any sense. This is a useless kit. Another useless kit, Infernal Shielder. There's no projectiles from zombies. They can't shoot arrows. They can't throw fireballs at you. It's kind of pointless to use Infernal Shielder for that. So another useless kit. Now going into the kits that are kind of just dumb and silly to use, but they're not useless, okay? So starting with Frosty. Frosty, you did get the snowballs. I was using Frosties, and it was kind of just really annoying. I like to annoy the infected by, shooting snowballs at them with static, especially static 3. It does a really nice explosion at first. The first impact does do a lot of damage, and then the additional shots don't do quite as much damage, but they still apply some kind of static damage to them. It's a pretty good kit. Beyond that, it doesn't really do any knockback truly. It's just more annoying. And then I finish them off with an actual emerald sword or something pretty decent damaging. Lumen was another kit that I thought was kind of dumb because it's still a broken kit. The aim for this thing, I don't know what the projectile's angle is. It's got a really weird angle. So when you fire the projectile, it actually constantly floats upwards at kind of a weird angle. So if you have your sights directly on something, it won't actually shoot at whatever you're aiming at. It'll just kind of go over their head. So half the time you're missing the infected because you have to point at the ground to be able to make it shoot straight, which is really annoying. The other thing is the damage is just really, really bad. So So Lumen kind of pointless in this mode. I don't know. I mean, if you're really desperate, I mean, if you have Lumen, you probably have Ember. Just use Ember. Lonnie was another one that was kind of weird. This is one of the newer healer kits. This one was kind of weird. I used her. You have to buy one staff or scepter or whatever, the healing staff at a time. And I thought it was kind of weird because you got one use and then you're going to like zoom up and then you're going to heal your like teammate. It just didn't make any sense in this mode. Maybe in like squads, but probably not worth spending time on. Warrior was a really dumb one to use because Warriors, the only advantage you have is discounted armor, and the armor isn't even that good, okay? So you're still going to have to go Emerald Armor. But even with Emerald Armor, why are you choosing Warrior out of all these other kits that are really good? Warrior is just a really odd one to use in this mode. Practically useless. Now, Trapper, I know what you're thinking. Trapper is a useless kit. It's actually pretty good. One is traps do add the sticky kind of effect to things, so it does, you know, create this glue effect so they can't pearl away very easily. So like if you're trying to spawn camp a bunch of infected, you can pretty much plant a bunch of traps around. They can't pearl away because they're going to hit that trap. What I did was I completely trolled them. I think I planted like 50 or 60 or more traps around the spawn and pretty much just made it so that they could not get out of their base. I was having a ton of fun with Trapper because, you know, traps are so cheap and you end up with so much iron that you can pretty much just troll them all day. So it's a really good trolling kit. Sheep herder I did not like because you're pretty much having to like navigate the entire area to be able to find sheep, and they were really hard to find. It's kind of like bees, you know, like beekeeper. Anytime you're having to use kits that you have to kind of like hunt around for stuff, it's kind of a pain unless it's giving you a lot of damage or range. Like Gompy makes a whole lot more sense than sheep herder, but sheep herder was just kind of a big pain because I'm looking around for the sheep and I never really found enough, you know, and for the damage bonus that you get off of sheep, it just didn't make any sense to use. It's kind of useless. Melody was an odd one, okay? This one, you think it would be really good because you're healing your teammates who are getting killed by zombies or infected, but in reality, you get killed and it's GG. So it just didn't make any sense. You're around there trying to, you know, heal your teammates, and they're just running around like chickens being chased by wolves. And it was just really annoying because I kept getting targeted because I was, you know, obviously the fresh meat to be chased after by zombies. So don't really like Melody. She didn't really heal enough considering the amount of damage that the infected do. Next with Pirate Davy, this one can get you into a lot of trouble, okay? Like unless you're a pro Pirate Davy user, and there's only a handful of players like this in BedWars that actually know how to clutch, break cannons and fly around the map and know the power of them, you know, the actual cannon. Most of the time you're probably going to fall in the void. There's a lot of weird physics, you know-hows with the cannons that you really need to understand. So unless you really know all of those details, chances are you're going to turn into infected as soon as you use a cannon. So Pirate Davy kind of useless. Another one that's going to launch you into the void on accident is Gingerbread Man. Now, Gumdrop is a little bugged right now, so you end up like launching yourself into like space practically with these things. It's really nice because it does give you like a little bit of that armor bonus, but beyond that, I've never had an issue as infected killing a Gingerbread Man. I've never had an issue. So the only time this is kind of annoying is if like Gingerbread gives like one of those Gumdrops to, say, Zephyr, then it's really annoying. That's when the kit becomes useful for someone else. We're really looking at these kits as being useful for yourself because that's not helpful if everyone else is dead. Now, this one I was thinking would be really OP, and that's Vulcan. I thought, you know, Vulcan, man, imagine those turrets in Infected. And I had a feeling this was going to happen is you get griefed a lot. So anytime someone sees a turret, they pretty much just block them up because they think it's funny. I don't know what it is with trolls and griefers, but they see a turret or they see like a pinata or they see anything that's breakable and then they do it. And that's exactly what happened with Vulcan. Like I was doing so well with the turret and then it got blocked up and griefed. So I just wouldn't recommend this kit in this mode at all. Now we're entering like the great kits. These are the kits that I had a lot of fun with. They were really OP, but not the best, okay? These weren't like the absolute insane kits. These are just like kits that are really good, fun to use, and great overall. And starting with Baker. So Baker's speed pies were really insanely fun. You can pretty much outrun zombies all day long and really annoy them, especially if you can give like teammates like, you know, speed pies. Then it makes your entire team like really annoying because they're jamming around the map. They can't be caught. You can pretty much resource collect all day. You can just keep spawn camping him, run away. So Baker, crazy fun. Spirit Catcher was another one that I really loved. I was just launching these spirits over and over at enemy spawn with I think I had like static 3 or fire 3 or something like that, and it was just annoying them so much. Like I just kept launching them at them. So nothing really they can do about it because, you know, the spirits are just really painful, especially when you can hold a bunch of them. So Trinity is an interesting one because Trinity can heal you. Trinity gives you, you know, lots of heals. It either heals yourself really well anytime you cause damage, or basically steals health from enemies. alternative to that, if you have the light transformation with Trinity, it can heal nearby teammates as well. So I was actually Barbarian in one match with Trinity, like when Infected first came out, and Trinity and I were just destroying waves and waves of Infected. They just couldn't get through us. So Trinity, combos really, really well with other players. Now, Elder Tree, surprisingly good. Like, it wasn't insanely good, but it was good. And the nice thing about Elder Tree is the health, the hit points that you get over time are really, really good. You can basically out HP any Infected that hit you. And as long as you're geared up on swords, you're pretty much set. Now, Lassie, obviously a really troll and fun kit. I use Lassie quite a bit to pretty much rope zombies anytime they run at someone. I would just rope them into the void or knock them in the void. They're trying to go after someone, I would just rope them to me and kill them. And you can also rope them towards traps. Really, really troll and fun kit. Now, Yuzi, absolutely pay to win. No, I'm just kidding. But Yuzi, a ton of fun because pretty much you can damage zombies through walls, which is really crazy. You can also cause a lot of knockback. I just had a lot of fun with this kit. You can pretty much resource collect the entire map very quickly as well, so you're going to get geared so much faster, and you're going to be able to spawn camp with this kit very easily. You can pretty much dive in and out. You also don't take any fall damage if you launch correctly, but Yuzi, a ton of fun. Similarly, Jade is crazy good because, I just kept knocking zombies up in the air anytime I'd see them. So I'd, run into a group of zombies, launch my hammer, finish off a couple, run out, and then launch back in. So it's a really annoying kit for that. You can really get them, pretty high up in the air and cause a lot of fall damage. Grim Reaper is another annoying kit. Now, I've been infected a lot. I really like being infected because it's pretty much GG if I become that early. But Grim Reaper, man, Grim Reaper is one of the most annoying ones to chase down because they get that heal. So they kill someone else, they kill another zombie, then they go and heal themselves, then I gotta go chase after them. And most of the time they escape. I don't know how they're escaping so easily, but they do escape a lot. So Grim Reaper, really, really good. Gompy was a really surprising one. Gompy is just awesome, okay? So the thing I will say about Gompy is that as much as you have to kind of go around and find ghosts to be able to, vacuum up, I would say 4 or 5 minutes into the game, there's so many ghosts around the map, you don't really have an issue finding them. And the amount of damage a ghost does with full damage upgrades, if you add in Fire 3 or Static 3, this thing stomps. And not only is it really good on damage, it can knock zombies off their bridges very easily because of the knockback. Very powerful kit, does so much damage. It's just the downside is you kind of have to go keep running around looking for ammo. Each time you do one shot, especially if you miss your shot. Freya is an interesting one. I mean, it's really good for spawn camping because you can slow them as well, and they can't really get away as easily. But beyond that, Freya's a good damage dealer overall. Another good damage dealer is going to be Evelyn, and that's just because of the speed and then, the ability to teleport around the map. You also get that shield boost temporarily in speed and then extra damage with that spin. Just a really good kit for being able to, just absolutely destroy zombies, especially mid to late game and, with your upgrades. I really, really hate going up against Evelyn's because you think you got them because they jump off, into the void, and then they teleport back behind you, and it's just so annoying having to deal with them. Conquer is another interesting one. What's great about Conquer is you can buy those banners, and so what I kept doing is I just kept launching banners for heal and fire, and anytime zombies were rushing our base, I would just drop some more banners down, and we pretty much destroyed them simply from just being able to resist their waves. And Conquer is really good about that. You get that fire enchant pretty much out the gate, literally within the first minute and a half, you can get that fire damage, which is really helpful for that first wave of zombies coming at you. They just can't handle that kind of damage, and you can just drop some heal banners down and keep your team alive. Void Regent is really, really messed up right now. I don't know what happened, but I think they broke Void Regent. The heals are kind of insane, and the amount of damage you can do with this thing is unreal. So this kit is really, really buff right now. I really like using them against the zombies. I could tell they were pretty annoyed with me throughout the match. I mean, I just kept harassing them, and they could never catch me. So Void Regent, really, really good. Cobalt, another great kit. This one is pretty insane. I have to say that a couple times, when my shield, batteries were not dropping to get my shields, I got a little spooked a couple of times. But after that, pretty much you go into that full, overkill or overdrive mode. Man, that thing just absolutely destroyed Infected. Cobalt is super, super fun kit. Definitely recommend using this when Infected. Now we're getting into my favorite kits. Okay, this is the top 15 kits for me inside Infected. These are the best of the best. Starting with, surprisingly, Zurat. So Zurat is this little dragon, right? The purple dragon that no one ever talks about. Never, not many people actually make videos about this one too. And it's because Zurat is just a weird kit. Zurat, you can pretty much evolve into or transform into a flying dragon. Now, this part is probably the weakest part of it for me is the flying, because because I mean, I flew around a little bit. It was kind of funny, just kind of troll infected. Like, it works better if you're already high up. Otherwise, if you're on the ground, sometimes the flying just does not kick in. Sometimes it gets a little wonky or out of sync, so you can't actually fly all the time. But what was really good with Zura, honestly, was combining static 3 with dragon breath. That thing does so much damage combined. It's almost like your pyro as a dragon. It's nuts, and I just absolutely demolished enemies with this kit. Combining with your flying abilities, like, I just flew away from a bunch of infected. It was so much fun. Really a fun kit. Does a lot of damage. Melts them. Similarly, Kalia. This is another great kit. Kalia has the dragon, the dragon punch, and this thing is really, really, really powerful as well. I love that knockback. You can pretty much get, infected away from you really, really fast. If you're like camp on the front of your base too, you can pretty much launch them into the void very easily. So Kalia, really fun, especially considering there's so much void gaps inside infected for people to fall. Helps with that damage too. That damage is unreal. Hannah is another great one. We were using Hannah, I think, to spawn camp. It was nuts. And the thing with the Hannah is the combos, right? So you have this like timer that sets off when you start doing combos, and the amount of HP required to execute other players during that combo gets smaller and smaller. You just pretty much just keep teleporting around to infected over and over and over. All you got to do is a little bit of damage to all of them. And if you've got static with Hannah, it's pretty much GG. Like, you're causing absolute chaos with Hannah and executing a whole group at their spawn. And that's pretty much what I did. Now, Wizard was really, really fun with infected because you can pretty much spawn camp with lightning, and you just need get static 3 with that. It's unreal. So you think, like fire 3 would be really good, which it is, but static 3 with Wizard is insane with the Wizard staff. I just kept spawn camping, and it was just doing so much damage to them. And if you get someone on you, all you got to do is that orb, and it just completely slows them down, so they can't chase you. So I had a ton of fun with Wizard. Really, really powerful, especially since you can get like maxed out on damage. Another crazy one is Pyro. Now, before I continue, I just want to make mention, like, infected is one of those modes where you can, especially like, when you get that new kit and you're like, dude, if I can get full enchants, if I can get fully geared, full damage, full upgrades, this is the mode to do that in. Okay, so in the example of Pyro, like, it's so easy to get your Pyro maxed out, and that's what I kept doing with Pyro. Is I just kept maxing out my damage as Pyro to the point where I was knocking enemies back with my flames, and Pyro just melts, especially with static. Like, I was using static with Pyro. It just melts everything. You can just walk into an enemy base and just absolutely destroy everything in sight at a crazy range. Like, you don't even have to be that close to them, and you can just absolutely demolish. You could have 10 zombies on you. You're going to demolish all of them. It does so much damage. It is unreal. Same with Ember, another fire one. I would say Pyro. I honestly prefer Pyro over Ember in this situation, but Ember's got a really nice spin that just constantly does damage, which is really nice, especially when you have, you can max out your enchants. You can have, like, Emerald Armor. You're pretty much fully stacked. You're just not going to go anywhere. You're not going to die from an infected at this point. Another one that I found was really interesting was Nyx. Now, I use Nyx, and I pretty much spawn camped with Nyx for a bit after a while, like, because I just kept using Midnight, and it was really, really good. And I was doing, like, I think about 140 damage per hit at one point, but I was just pretty much, at one point, I was just one-shotting the enemy. It was insane. Nyx, absolutely crazy good. Star Collector Stella was interesting. So this is a kit. Obviously, you go around collecting health stars for increasing your, HP cap or your max HP. You also have the critical hits or critical strike stars, which increases the, the critical strike chance. This is like a really, really good kit inside this mode because you can pretty much come back to your spawn and give everyone at your gen or spawn points upgrades. And I just kept doing that over and over and over and over in this mode. And it just, like, after a while, I pretty much didn't need anyone else. I could just pretty much critical strike everyone. I was combining critical strike with, I think, like either fire 3 or static 3, and just absolutely demolishing infected. I didn't have any problem whatsoever. Tried to come after me and they were dead. Especially great for crossbows. Another one that was a lot of fun was Ares. Now, Ares, obviously, you have the spears, and the spears do so much damage. It was so easy to, like, knock people because there's a lot of knockback with the spear impact. Also, the damage is unreal, so you really need, like, 2 spears to kill a zombie. Later on, like, on this particular map that I'm showing here, I found that there was a shop on the left side. So what I just kept doing is I kept spawn camping the enemies, and I would just go back to that little shop, buy some more spears, go back, because you do have a spear limit on how many spears you can buy. And so I just kept going between that little shop and their spawn over and over and just kept launching these spears at them. It was so much fun. I think they kind of got bullied by Ares a little bit. That was a really good kit. Another one that's really good for this mode is because obviously you start out with the bow and arrows is Archer. Now, Archer, a lot of people, underutilize the tactical crossbow here. The tactical is only like 6 emeralds. So think about, like, you can get this tactical so quick in the game. And so you pretty much, you know, this is like the highest damaging bow in the game currently. So imagine, besides like Vanessa, because Vanessa, obviously you get that triple shot, which is pretty insane too. But tactical is going to do so much damage up front. Imagine how easy it is to kill infected with this thing, especially if you have like fire 3 with this. Absolutely crazy. So much fun to do a little bit of target practice. Vanessa though, Vanessa was just absolutely bully. Okay, this is like the bullying kit. This is the kit that you use to bully all the enemies. Like you got triple shot. Okay, so you got absolutely crazy knockback. So because they're gonna get launched across the map from all those hits, and if a couple of your shots miss, at least maybe one of your shots make it. Now, if all 3 of your shots make it and don't miss, then you're pretty much killing a zombie in just one release, and that's how good it is. Like this kit is really, really good. It does use a lot of arrows, so you're gonna need to buy a lot of arrows. But man, Vanessa is probably, like, I would say if I were to choose like the top 2 kits that I would use in the game, I would say Barbarian and Vanessa. But any of these others that I'm gonna talk about shortly here are just as powerful. It's just those 2 are just the most fun to me. Next up is Axolotl Amy. This is a great damaging kit because you get that early damage to the Axolotl, and surprisingly the scales really, really well with like damage upgrades, and you get that fast heal gen or health gen regen. You got, you know, your like shield Axolotl, you got your damage Axolotl. This kit is so under the radar. I don't know how it is, but I absolutely demolished with Amy. Like she's just a really, really good kit. Okay, like I was absolutely destroying everyone with her. The other thing that's really nice about her is she can help other teammates around you. So like if you're kind of spawn camping, then maybe this is the kit to use. This is just a really, really powerful kit, and a lot of people will call you hacker because of her. Now Barbarian, just like the best sword you can get in the game. Okay, like you get Barbarian, you max out that Rage Blade within like the first couple minutes, and you're already just melting, absolutely melting infected. They can't do anything about you. But yeah, really, really crazy damage dealer, probably the best in the game. And then obviously we have Aerie. Your sword is more powerful after every single kill. So ultimately, by the time, you know, you can like one-shot zombies, pretty much they've all rage quit. That's pretty much my experience with Aerie, is that she's so good that by the time you want to go and kill more zombies, they're all gone. Zephyr, however, has to be one of the most powerful kits that I used in Infected, and here's why. Obviously, you get the feathers, right? And I would say after the second feather, you're pretty much absolutely demolishing every single Infected in the match. Like, you're going to keep building up, and once you have the 5th feather, they can't chase you, they can't keep up with you. You've already pushed them back to their spawn. That's how good Zephyr is, and that's exactly what I experienced. Is I absolutely bullied these players because you have insane speed, they can't run away from you, so you're pretty much the Infected. Like, Zephyr is worse than the Infected. Let me just say that. Zephyr is like a super infected, like super infected. You got insane speed, you got crazy damage, you got like you're just absolutely comboing them like almost like you're a hacker. And you're almost flying because you get that double jump. Once you're in that 5th feather, you're doing double jumps all day. You're just flying around away from them, back in, kill them, you regen, come back, kill them. Like, you're unstoppable as Zephyr. That's what I'm gonna say. Absolutely unstoppable kit. Definitely one of my favorites. Not the most fun kit, but definitely my favorite and biggest damage dealer in the game. Again, this is probably my hands down my favorite mode in the game currently. I really hope that they keep it in here as long as they can. Let me know what you think. What was your favorite kit that you've actually used in this mode? Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next vid. Peace.